Hi guys. Okay, so today I'm going to talk about the pros and cons of Poshmark versus eBay. So if you would like to know the difference between the two, then stay tuned. And if you haven't subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? So like this video, comment below, and share it if you can with all of your friends and family. And like I said, subscribe, obviously, and hit the bell. Okay, let's get started. So the first thing that I want to talk about is the ease of shipping on Poshmark versus eBay. So on Poshmark, it is really simple. You have to keep it under 5 pounds, but as long as it is, you ship everything by priority mail, and it is always the same cost. The buyer always pays for it. Unless you give a discount. You are capable of giving discounts on shipping, but unless you're offering some kind of really good deal, you're probably not going to. So under most circumstances, the buyer is going to pay the shipping. By using priority mail for everything, you can use all of the free supplies from USPS.com, which is really awesome. I mean, that makes it so easy. Then you don't have to buy the boxes. You are still obviously responsible for bubble wrap and air pockets and whatever else you need. But since most of the things that you sell on Posh are going to be clothes anyway, the majority of the things can just go in a poly mailer, and it's going to be super simple. You just put it in the priority mail poly mailer. You don't have to buy your own poly mailer, which they can get expensive, trust me. So even when you ship things first class on eBay, you still have to buy the poly mailer. Whereas when you ship things on Poshmark, you're using priority mail regardless of the weight. So therefore you can use one of their poly mailer bags for priority mail, and it didn't cost you anything, which is such a great savings. I know it doesn't seem like that much, but it really adds up, you guys. It really adds up. All of these supplies to ship things, they cost a lot of money over time. So it really helps when you can get anything priority mail through USPS.com. Another thing that's great about Poshmark is the feedback system. Now there is a feedback system. The buyers can rate you. However, it's not a public feedback system the way that eBay is. So that is kind of nice, because then if you do have customers that got mad at you or something, which I haven't had yet, but I could assume what it would be like, because customers can, I don't want to say be fickle, but they kind of can. They can get upset over very small things sometimes. It just kind of helps when they aren't able to extort that feedback for you. And another thing is Poshmark kind of tends to side with the seller more often than on eBay. eBay almost always sides with the buyer. Like, you have to really convince them that you are in the right in order for them to side with you as the seller. But that's just kind of the way that it goes. On Poshmark, that doesn't really happen that much. I'm not really sure why. But I feel like it's a lot more fair. I feel like they are fair to the buyers, but they're also fair to the sellers. Whereas on eBay, lately, and you can talk to pretty much anybody that's been selling on eBay for a long time, like I have. Like, I've been selling on eBay for 17 years. It has definitely changed. There's just no denying that. It used to be very seller focused, and now it is very buyer focused, which is great. I mean, we want to make the buyers happy, and the customer is always right, but sometimes they aren't. And in a lot of cases, there are scams on eBay that eBay just kind of turns their head to. So it kind of makes it difficult sometimes, and you don't really have that on Posh. So that is another pro of Poshmark. Another thing about Poshmark is that there aren't really any returns. Like, you have to have something really dramatically wrong with the product or the description of the product in order for you to be able to return it. Whereas on eBay, You can scam the sellers so easily and just get away with returning anything for any reason, just claiming it as not as described, which is completely unfair to the seller. Like, and it happens all the time, you guys. It's just one of the parts of this business. You're going to probably have returns that were unfair. You can try to call eBay, and if you have been a reputable enough seller with them for long enough, they may side with you. They may do whatever needs to be done, either remove the negative feedback that you unfairly gained, or deny the refund for something. But I'm sorry, the majority of the time they are gonna side with the buyer, and there's just not a lot you can do about it, unfortunately. And that is one pro about Posh, is that does not happen as much. I mean, it has to be something pretty major for you to be able to return things on Posh. You are not allowed to return it for does not fit, or I didn't like it, or the color wasn't quite what I was expecting. None of that. Whereas on eBay, they can very easily say item not as described, even if you perfectly described it, and they can claim all of these other things. And that's a con of eBay and a pro of Poshmark. Now for some of the cons, okay? One of the worst things about Poshmark is that it is very social media centered. So you need to share, you need to like, you need to like do all of those things that really interact, I guess, with other sellers, which is great. Like, we all need to support each other. I love that part. What I don't love is that it seems like in order to make sales, you are required to do that. And no, that is not part of the rules, but it just seems like you don't get as much exposure unless you do that. And most of us that are resellers that have been doing this a long time and do it in high volume just don't have the time for that. So we had personally, we had Monica doing it for us. She controlled our whole Posh. Now that she's not controlling our Poshmark anymore, it's not really making any sales because I have not had the time to go through and do all of the social media sharing that Monica was doing. So that is a definite con of Posh. Another con would be that you're very limited on what you can list. You can list clothes. You can list currently right now household stuff. So like bedding, certain kinds of collectibles and decor, like curtains and stuff like that, pillows. They're even letting us get away with quite a few collectible type of items as long as it also kind of fits into the home decor theme. So baseball cards wouldn't fly, but a collectible selection of salt and pepper shakers could be listed. Do you see what I mean about the difference? Like, it needs to kind of fit into the home decor category, I guess. And then along with clothing, you can have accessories, hats, scarves, socks, underwear, you know, even things like backpacks and stuff like that, coats. Trying to just think off the top of my head. You could have a lot of different things that are like clothing and accessory related on Posh, okay? And then now they added in the home category, but you still are very limited in what you can list, and you're probably going to be denied if you try to list things that are just simply collectibles or antiques stuff like that. And obviously you can't post like furniture and stuff like that because it's all shipped. Speaking of which, their shipping, while it is super easy, you are limited to 5 pounds or less. You cannot go over 5 pounds or you are going to be responsible for the difference. The buyer is not, you are. So while on eBay, you can choose whether you want to pay the shipping costs or you want the buyer to pay the shipping costs. On Poshmark, the buyer always pays it up to $6.79 as of right now, which right now it's October 2019. But that's only as long as you don't go over $5. If you go over $5, you would be responsible for whatever the difference is. Now, I've never gone over $5, and being that Posh used to only sell clothing and accessories, 5 pounds usually was not an issue because most people don't go over 5 pounds for one item of clothing, right? But now that they've entered the home stuff, that may change a little bit, so be wary of that. I think the very worst thing about Posh is that you have to wait to get paid. Now on eBay, when you get paid, before you ever ship, you get paid. You are told, do not ship until you get paid. On Posh, you have to ship before you get paid. You have to actually ship it to them, wait a week or however long it takes to get to them, and then wait for them to accept it before you actually get the money released. That is probably the biggest con of Posh, other than all of the social media sharing that it takes. But, you know, that's not a huge thing, and a lot of people don't mind that. So I would say that the worst part is waiting for the money. Anyway, so I think that's pretty much just to make a very, very simple video here of the differences between Poshmark and eBay. That would be my opinions on it. Now, I don't want to say an expert on eBay, but I am a top-rated seller. I've been doing it for 17 years, so I know eBay pretty well, but I am ignorant to Posh. I have only been doing Posh for like, well, like I said, it is October 2019. I think I've been doing Posh since like June or July. So only like, what is that, 3 or 4 months? I don't know. I can't do math right now. I'm tired. Anyway, not that long. So I am definitely not an expert in Posh. These are just the things I'm letting you know that I have learned so far. And as time goes on and I get better at Posh, because I do intend to try to get better at it, I will make new videos and share it with you guys, okay? All right, so I think I've gone on long enough. You guys need to go and do other stuff, and so do I. I need to go and get some other work done. So, all right, like, subscribe, share, comment, all that great stuff. I'll see you later, pirates. Bye. I should have put on makeup today. Oh well. I don't have time. Red leather, yellow leather, red leather, yellow leather, red leather, yellow. Nope, I can't do it. I'm going to give you my tips as a reseller, doing this for over 17 years, that just little tips and tricks that I've learned along the way. Fun today, and let's do some eBaying, and I will just show you kind of what goes on in my pirate life day.
If you love what you do enough, you make it happen. You know, you can't get in this halfway, and you can't expect big payoffs for nothing. You got to work at it.
I will video us going through all of these mystery boxes, so definitely stay tuned for that.